Yo, what is going on today, guys? So today's topic of conversation, we're going to be talking about education. Okay? So I don't really want to bash school in this vlog. It's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to point out some things that you should keep in mind, okay? I think it's going to be interesting. So to start off, I want to enlighten you on what education actually means. And you're going to say, what do you mean? I already know what education is. Well, to a certain degree, yeah, but I don't think you fully understand and grasp what education means. So education comes from the Latin word educo, meaning to induce, to develop, or to draw out from within, okay? That's where it comes from. So just because someone is in a school does not necessarily mean they are educated. That is not the same thing. Just because you're in school does not mean you are being educated, okay? Would you call me a man of no education because I'm a dropout? I mean, I completed high school, but I didn't complete college. Would I be considered as someone of no education? Would you consider anyone who has never attended a higher education a man of no education? Even though it's called higher education, that's just the term for it. But that's not really education, you know? And I'm going to explain to you why. So as an example, Thomas Edison, 3 months of schooling. Would you consider him a man of no education? Henry Ford, one of the richest men of his time. Would you consider him a man of no education? He had little to no schooling. There's plenty of people who have made it far in life with no schooling. There's people who haven't even graduated high school who have went on to become millionaires because they know how to get what they want out of life. These people, but they don't have a higher education. They never went to college, maybe not even finished high school, maybe not even elementary school or anything like that, but they know how to get what they want out of life. Would you consider those people non-educated people? I would think not. And if you would say that those people are not educated, then I would say you have a wrong perception of what education is, which is exactly the point of this video, okay? I was gonna sit down, but I guess not. That bench is a little weird. Now, Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich says, an educated person is not necessarily one with an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated person is a person who has so developed the faculties of their mind that they can acquire anything they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others, okay? First off, what are the faculties of your mind? I've mentioned this in one of the other vlogs. Perception, imagination, reason, memory, intuition, and will. These are the 6 faculties of the mind. An educated person is not necessarily one with an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated person is a person who has so developed the faculties of their mind that they can acquire anything they want or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. So, now you go on to ask, what is general and specialized knowledge? Well, those are the 2 kinds of knowledge, general and specialized. And this is where school comes into play. So, general knowledge is knowledge that cannot be applied into a specific field. So it's just general, you know, it's vague and broad. That's what general knowledge is. Specialized knowledge is knowledge directed towards a definite end. So something you can specialize in, you know, learn a specific thing you can apply to a specific purpose. That's what specialized knowledge is. So what school does is they teach you a lot of general knowledge. And this general knowledge is not going to get you anywhere. This is not useful at all for the most part. To a certain degree, maybe a little bit of general knowledge, but just a little bit. We don't need much of it. But that's the problem with school. And once you get into the I would say the higher stages of college, then they start to you know, push you towards specialized knowledge. Because if you're applying for a major and you want to work on a specific major to have a specific career, and you're taking classes for that specific thing that you want, then that is specialized knowledge. But in the beginning, when you first get into a college, for those of you who haven't been to college yet, they will have you taking general education classes. That's literally what it's called. Now, in different schools, they're called different things. So where I went, it was called SBCs. I think it was stand for Stony Brook Courses or something. I don't know. It was SBCs. So I don't know what it was stand for, but that's what it was called. And yeah, so they're basically have you taking classes. Maybe you take a history class and a science class and a math class and a writing class, you know, just general stuff, nothing that you can direct to a specific end. And this is the kind of knowledge that you do not need. Straight up, you don't need this. Because tell me, bro, am I going to use that information for anything? How am I going to ever use that information in my lifetime? And before college is where you learn a ton of this general knowledge, especially before college. Even in college, you still learn it to a certain degree, but when you're in high school and middle school and they're teaching you about igneous rocks and sedimentary and metamorphosis or whatever that stuff is called, I don't need that. What is that use for me? When I tell you, I promise you, in my life, I never used igneous rocks in my entire lifetime after learning about it, or I never used the Mesopotamia history and ancient Egypt. I never used that in my life. What is the purpose of me learning that? There's literally no need for me to learn that. I'm wasting my time doing that. If you're learning general knowledge, you're wasting your time on something that you're not even going to use ever. So it's good for you to question, and no, I wouldn't say good, but it's reasonable for you to question when you're in school. Why do I need to learn this? Now, like I said, there's a degree of general knowledge that's needed. So I feel like, me personally, I feel like school should offer, a basic arithmetic. Like basic arithmetic, you should learn that, and basic like comprehension. So like reading and writing. I feel like those are essentials. Just to get by and whatever you want to do, you should have those abilities, arithmetic and comprehension. You should learn that. I don't think that's bad. But when you start learning about Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt and Rome and Greece and this stuff, like, why do I need to know that? Why do I need to know the history of some place I don't even live? I'm talking about BC, thousands years, bro. Why do I need to know that? There's no purpose of me understanding that. Why do I need to learn about igneous rocks, bro? I never seen an igneous rock outside. I'm outside in the park right now. I cannot identify igneous rock over here, or sedimentary, or metamorphic. I don't even know what the last one is called, metamorphic, or I don't know what it's called. This is useless. It's completely useless. So that's general knowledge. I don't need that. Specialized knowledge, like I said, if I'm applying for a major and let's say I wanted to, what I was in school for when I used to be in school was for engineering. But at first they didn't have me taking classes like that my freshman year, at least the first semester. Then in my second semester, I was taking a couple classes that were helping me with that, but it wasn't necessarily like full specialized knowledge. Like, I was taking some classes that were specializing in that major, but not entirely, So what I think it should be, if I'm going to school, I should know exactly what I want out of school. Now, a lot of people going to school, I'm undecided, I don't know what to do. Then you shouldn't be there. But that's my opinion about it, because you're essentially wasting your time, because they're going to just put you in general knowledge. They can teach you general knowledge. You can say, okay, you're undecided, take liberal arts. That's like the most general thing you can learn. I think it's called liberal arts. That's the stuff that I'm not gonna lie, but that stuff is useless, bro. That's not to offend anybody who may be, a liberal arts major, who likes that stuff, but hey, bro, that's what they tell you when you don't know what you're doing. So what I think school should be like, man, is I should know exactly what I want going into school. This is what it should be like, but it's not, right? I should know exactly what I want, and then the school should help me get exactly what I want and learn exactly what I need to get what I want. So if I wanted to become a doctor, for instance, as soon as I get into college, I should be learning everything about how to become a doctor. I shouldn't learn anything about anything else. Like, they got you taking this dumb stuff that you will never use. I want to learn to become a doctor. I don't want to learn this other stuff. I didn't sign up for this. I'm not paying for this. Like, that's the problem with the colleges. But as you do get further on, then they do specialize a little bit more further and further as you go, but you're wasting that initial time in the beginning. And so I'm not saying this for you to not want to go to college, because I don't want to ever influence someone to drop out. I mean, I'm not saying it's a great idea to go, but I'm also saying I'm not saying it's a great idea to not go, okay? Because I mean, it depends what you want really out of life. Like, if you want to become a doctor, you want to become something that is literally like you cannot get that without education, or college I should say, then yeah, obviously, right? But if I don't want that, my aspirations are not to go to college and get some degree that's going to help me with that, then there's no reason to go. If you don't know what you want, don't go. Figure out what you want first, and then decide whether you want to go or not, because you're wasting your time there, and it's expensive too. Now, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I've learned more in the past year and a half that I've been out of school than I ever have in all my schooling. And I'm talking like my entire schooling. I've learned more from the books I read and the speakers that I listen to. These guys are self-made millionaires, keep that in mind. I've learned more from them than I have in my, how long I was in school from age 4 to 18. That's 14 years. I've learned more in a year and a half than I have in 14 years of schooling, because it's general knowledge for the most part. The only things that I can take away from school that have been of any use for me were reading, because if I didn't know how to read, then I wouldn't know how to read the books that I read now, right? Writing, everyone needs a basic understanding of how to write. And just basic math. That's what I was mentioning earlier, basic math, just to do math off the top of my head if I ever need to. Now, technology today, you don't really need that much math. You don't need that much understanding of math. I don't ever need to go take calculus or anything like that, because I'm never going to use that in my life. Not even trigonometry or even geometry. And to a certain extent, even algebra. I might not even use that. I mean, I don't use any algebra in my life right now. I don't, at least in my career. Everyone's career is going to require different, qualifications and stuff. So it really just depends on what you do. But for me personally, I don't use that. But I've learned so much more from those books I've read, and it has helped me more than anything else I've ever learned in school, because I'm applying that knowledge to a definite end. Let me give you a rundown of some of the things I've learned from reading the books that I have. And I'll probably make a vlog showing you every book that I've read over the past year and a half. But let me just give you a quick rundown, just a general summary. I don't know, I'm just gonna give you the topics of what I've read about. How to attract money, how to be happy, how to use intuition, how to prosper in hard times. That's actually a name of a book, How to Prosper in Hard Times. I didn't read that one yet, but the other books I've read have incorporated, similar aspects of that book. Anything of that nature. Let me see. How to stay in good health. Like, these are all very important things in life. Who doesn't want to be in good health? Who doesn't want to have a lot of money? Who doesn't want to be happy? Who doesn't want to maintain good relationships? Who doesn't want to have peace of mind, right? Who doesn't want to live that kind of lifestyle? But they don't teach you that in school, do they? They don't. When have you ever learned about that in school? You haven't. They don't teach you that. I don't know why. It's not for me to question, bro. They just don't teach you that. They don't teach you how to use your mind and apply the God-given abilities that we have to get what we want out of life. They don't teach that. But the books I read do teach that. And that's the difference. That's the difference. And so I learned more from that, and I'm the man I am today because of that, because of those books. But I'm not the man I am today because of what I learned in school. No. Yeah, I'm a dropout, but I've learned a lot. The fact of me dropping out has nothing to do with my level of education. And I've still got so much to learn, so much. Not claiming here to be someone who knows all the answers. I'm 21, I just turned 21. I don't have all the answers. But every day that I read another chapter of a book, I find more, and I gain a greater understanding of how to get what I want out of life. You would be ignorant to call Henry Ford and Thomas Edison uneducated men, because these are some of the greatest men in American history and what they have accomplished. But why would you call them uneducated just because they weren't in school? See, it doesn't match up. It doesn't. Those ideas do not equate. They do not make sense. Elon Musk talks about how a college degree is absolutely useless. And let me say this, bruh. If you are in college and you're working on a degree, and then after you graduate, you go into a job that has nothing to do with what you spent 4 years probably and time and money on, you just wasted 4 years in time and your money. You absolutely just down the drain. You might as well just giving it to some dude on the street. Here, you want, how much some schools be asking for? It depends on what school you go to. But let's say, for an example, schools be costing, the good schools, man, they be thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars. You might as well be just throwing your stuff away. Burn it, because you spent time and money to learn something that you're using absolutely nothing on. And remember what I told you, time is very valuable. You don't want to waste your time on that. What's the reason in going to school, learning something, and then you use that degree for absolutely nothing? There's no use in that. That is not smart. That is not smart. You're wasting time and money. Now, the money can be made back, but the time cannot. And that's what I would really concern myself with. The time is the most valuable thing. And here's the thing that people do. People think because someone has a college degree that person is smart. That person may not be smart. That person is probably working for somebody who's a dropout. That person is probably working for somebody who maybe didn't even finish high school. But would you say that the person with the degree is smarter than the person who dropped out that he's working for? I would think not. That person who's working for the dropout, he probably has more general knowledge, but the dropout has more specialized knowledge. They learned specific information and learned how to direct it to a specific end to get what they want. Specialized knowledge. Now for me, for YouTube, specialized knowledge would be something as video editing, right? Or just learning the YouTube algorithm. This is specialized knowledge. Learning the YouTube algorithm, learning how to edit, and things of that nature, things that are related to YouTube, right? Anything with photo and video, that would be specialized knowledge because I'm using it to a specific end, a definite end. Steve Jobs, dropout. There's a lot of people who are dropouts who became millionaires and billionaires. Now there are people who did get the degree who are also millionaires and billionaires, but they used their specialized knowledge that they got and they applied it. If you have the specialized knowledge and you're not applying it, it's useless, okay? It's absolutely useless, of no value. The purpose of this vlog is not for me to bash school. I mean, it could come off as that, but that's not the purpose of it at all. But I want you to know what it is that you want out of life, and then you can determine whether school is going to be for you or not, okay? Remember, there's a difference between education, someone who's educated, and someone who is in school. Because just because you're in school does not mean you're an educated person. To a certain extent, maybe, but you haven't fully grasped how to get what you want out of life. School will not teach you how to get what you want out of life. But you know what will? Books. Reading books is what will teach you. Okay, this is why I always emphasize it. I talk about it in a lot of the vlogs. Reading books will teach you. But you have to read books that are specific to what you want. You want to learn how to earn money? Think and Grow Rich, or The Science of Getting Rich, or The Little Money Bible. There's so many books that talk about how to earn money. You want to learn about your subconscious mind or anything about the mind? The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. You want to learn about business, starting up businesses? There's books for that. I don't know any off the top of my head. I think there's a book called From Good to Great or something like that by, I forgot the guy's name. I haven't read the book, but I heard about it. You want to learn about how to maintain good relationships, how to win friends and influence people. There you go, by Dale Carnegie. Haven't read that, but I want to. But you do want to have some general knowledge, because it's good to be well-rounded to a certain degree, but you don't need too much of it. So it's good to have some. It's good to have some. That's why you read different books. That's why I read different books about different topics, so I can learn more about different topics. All right, so I'm gonna end off the vlog here. Hope you got a better understanding of what education really means, man. Okay. Thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next vlog.